Random English words number three. Let's go ahead and get started. Word number one, singer. 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 The first thing that comes to mind when I hear the word singer, I think of people like Michael Jackson. I think of Patti LaBelle. I think of Diana Ross. I think of who else? Some legendary singers. I don't do people even sing anymore, bro? These days it's all about the auto tune. You know what I mean? Every album is artificially enhanced with some software program, and then you put a real mic in front of somebody at on stage, or you might fuck a mic. You just put them in front of a group of people and say, "Sing this," and then you find out who can really sing, right? I don't know if people sing anymore. Like, what is up with that? And I'll be honest, man, I grew up on hip hop music. Like, my parents would listen to R&B. And just in case you don't know, that's rhythm and blues, R&B. So they definitely listened to that when I was growing up. Teddy Pendergrass and Luther Vandross and, like I said, Michael J. Who else? Belle Div DeVoe. Is that it? That's not even R&B, is it? I don't know what that is. Anyway, my parents definitely listened to that, so I got some of that in me for sure. But I grew up on hip hop. My dad was a big fan of Tupac. Um, that was, I mean, when I think back to rappers, that was the main dude that he would play when we were riding in the car. He was also a fan of Run DMC. Who else? He wasn't really a Biggie type of guy. I never heard my dad listening to Biggie. My mom don't listen to rap music. I mean, she listens to some of that new school shit that she comes across on social media or YouTube or something like that, but she doesn't know hip hop. You know what I mean? Just the mainstream classic world renowned artists she could probably name, but she don't know hip hop like that. I don't even know if she listens to music, fam. I mean, I'm sure she does. I know she does. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I don't listen to too many singers, which is why it's hard for me to come up with some classic names. But nowadays, man, who the fuck is out here singing? When I think of modern day singers from the last 10 to 15 years, it's a lot of people that are just, and then it's amplified by software and auto tune and shit that makes it sound really nice. But if you, like I said, if you put a mic in front of them in some public place with no help, it's like, can you really do you? I mean, what I'm saying is back in the day, I know I sound like an old timer, but back in the day, singers had what we call pipes. If you say somebody got some pipes, some real pipes, it means that they can really blow. They got some fucking industrial style lungs and they can really hit a note and hold it there. Got pipes. You understand what I'm saying? Who today from my generation, what fucking millennial or Gen Zer? Can we start calling them that, Gen Zers? What fucking Gen Zer out here has got a real set of pipes on them, fam? You tell me. I'm not saying I'm totally informed. Maybe you're aware of some underground top shelf singer out here, but I haven't seen one about 15 years. You understand me? You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I think of when I think singer. It's like, do they even make those anymore? Are those even in production anymore, bruh? Who the fuck is out here singing for real? It's a whole bunch of fucking. I can't even imitate an auto tune voice. I'm trying to think a classic auto tune sound. Think Future. Think what's somebody famous for fucking auto tune? Like I said, if it's not hip hop or house music, bro, you got me beat. I can't really speak too much on it. All I'm saying for probably the seventh time now is I don't remember the last time I heard a proper singer. And I'm talking about in the world of R&B and mainstream American music. Obviously, in other countries and other genres, I'm sure there's plenty of talented singers, right? Um, but I'm musically uneducated. Yeah. American hip hop, Colombian hip hop, Brazilian hip hop. We can talk about that. But singers, I mean, Brazilian singers, American singers, we can chop it up a little bit. But other than that, I don't know. I think everybody's a singer on some level. Is there anybody who gets in the shower and listens to music and doesn't sing? Somebody who doesn't sing along with the music? All of us are singers in the shower. You know what I mean? When you got the speaker blasting the music just loud enough to mask your shitty voice so you don't feel bad, but then when the battery dies on that motherfucker and it's just you singing, or a phone call comes in or an ad or some shit, and then you get caught in the middle of a high note on some shit like that, that's when you're reminded, oh yeah, that's why people don't pay me to do this, right? Yeah. But on some level, we're all singers. Who? What I wonder is, who was the first person to sing? Like, when you really stop and think about it, how unique the act of singing even is. Because when we think of other animals, which animals sing? Birds. It's probably the first animal that came to your mind. Birds, we think of those as animals who sing. Birds sing songs, as we like to say anyway. I wonder if anybody has figured out what they're actually communicating to each other. Because we have no idea. We like to think we know, but how could we possibly know that? I watch a lot of nature documentaries, and they make all of these claims that they know why these animals are taking these actions or making these sounds. And it's like, how did you know that? Did the lion tell you that shit, bro? Did the fucking toucan explain to you why it's doing what it's doing? I doubt it, bro. So how do they know these things? Anyway, that's the animal that we think of when we think of singing. But human beings, let's just assume that birds are singing for a particular reason, to communicate a message, and not just for the fuck of it. Not just because they're having fun and they like to hear each other's, what do you call it, voice? No, because they like to hear each other's bird calls or whatever birds call it. Let's just assume that's the case. I can't think of any other animal that just makes noise because they think it sounds good. And again, we don't know. We don't know. We haven't had an animal vocal conference, at least not to my knowledge, so we don't really know. But let's just assume we're the only ones to do that. How unique and somewhat strange that is. The act of singing, I mean, to raise your voice, and not everyone can do it. So to be born with a beautiful voice that sounds good no matter the octave at which you're singing, no matter the tone, you know what I mean? Like, who was the first one to discover that? Like, were they just yelling at somebody and realized, like, God damn, that shit sounded kind of good. Let me try that again. What was it? I don't know, man. I mean, even the act of writing a song is bizarre. Like, who, for what purpose? It's not even really like who did it, but for what purpose? What were they doing at the time that gave them the idea? I'm going to string together a number of words that either rhyme or have some poetic, beautiful meaning, and I want somebody to say them loudly and beautifully. Whose idea was that? You ever thought about that? It's something that you just take for granted. For as long as you've existed, there has been music. And you've listened to music since you were a baby. A, B, C, D, E, F. That's a song. That's a fucking song, bro. Who thought to write and then sing songs? It's bizarre, man. It's bizarre. Like, what a talent that is, too, to be able to use your voice in such a way that it doesn't even matter what you're saying. You can emotionally move people. And I wake up in the morning and I brush my teeth and I floss when I'm done and I get my tea. I don't eat breakfast because I'm a savage. I wait till the afternoon, 'cause I'm about that action. Do you feel moved? If you feel moved, drop me a like on YouTube or a fucking comment on Spotify, whatever you gotta do. Give me some feedback on that one, man. I wanted to be a singer for a very short amount of time because I, in the shower, really thought I was about that life. I thought, yo, motherfuckers ain't giving me my props, fam. I got pipes in this bitch and I got some shit to say. Let me sing it. You know what I mean? Put on some Kirk Franklin. I don't know why we always say Kirk Franklin when he's not even the one singing those songs. You know what I mean? Is he the one writing the songs? What does Kirk Franklin even do? Do y'all know who that is? I know Brazilians know who Kirk Franklin is. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna play one of my favorite songs by Kirk Franklin, who's not a singer, by the way, but every song has his name attached to it. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out, what does this man even do? I want to know if y'all have heard this song. Hang on. It's one of my favorite I should say Kirk Franklin choir songs, because this motherfucker don't sing a single word. But anyway, here we go.
Young people going to stand up real quick. Come on. Come on, we gotta stand.
About to take y'all to church, fam. Hold on.
Yo, everybody come get your bounce on. Get your bounce on. Get your bounce on. Don't be cute with it. You gotta get, come on. Fifth ward. Fourth ward. Come on. Sing it.
When I close my eyes, I think of you and reminisce on all the things you do. I can't imagine my life without you. It's like paradise now. I know that it's real. It's a mystery for someone to give that up just for me.
Come on.
What you did on Calvary makes me wanna love you more.
Watch this.
I never knew I could be so happy. I never knew I'd be so secure because of your love. Life has brand new meaning.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be a bright day, bright day.
Come on, everybody clap like this. Clap like this.
Never thought that I would smile again. I never thought the dark clouds would end. I never thought that I could have a friend that would keep me, never leave me alone. Jesus, you're my everything. The only one that makes my heart sing. Now I know what real means. It's everlasting,
Come on, come on.
lasting. I never knew I could be so happy. I never knew I'd be so secure
Because of you.
because of your love. Life has brand new meaning.
Gonna be.
Gonna be a bright day, bright day.
Sing it with me one more time.
Never knew.
Oh man, what you talking about, man? What you talking about? That's classic shit. What is you talking about? Anyway, what I was saying is, this man wasn't singing, bro. How is this Kirk Franklin song? Did he write the shit or what, bro? I'm just curious. I'm not hating on Kirk Franklin, man. I'm just curious. Why does he get the song credits? It's the choir that's putting it down. You know what I'm saying? Why was I telling you about Kirk Franklin? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, those are some things that come to mind when I hear the word singer, which is a noun. A person who sings is a singer, right? Sing is the verb. Singer is the noun. Song is also a noun. You can sing a song. A singer is a person who sings a song. How you like that? All right, let's move on to the next word, my friends. Undertake. Skip that shit. Variety. Word number 2 is variety. V-A-R-I-E-T-Y. Variety. Some people say variety. Some people say variety. Some people say variety. Just depends on what floats your boat. Depends on what patch of dirt you grew up on. It's all valid. You know what I mean? Variety. I guess it might be kind of hard for some learners of English. Variety. Variety. I never thought about that. So don't feel bad if that one's a bit challenging for you. Anyway, variety. What is the actual definition? Because before I look at the dictionary, let me try to get in the habit of defining these words without knowing the dictionary definition. When I think variety, I think an assortment of options, a diverse set of options. For example, a variety of colors, a variety of people, a variety of drugs, a variety of cars, a variety of movies, a diverse set of each of these things. So let's see how accurate I was. Variety, definition. Variety, the quality or state of being different or diverse, the absence of uniformity, sameness, or monotony. That was close. Let me say that again in my voice. The quality or state of being diverse, the absence of uniformity, sameness, or monotony. I didn't even know sameness was a word. So yes, the opposite of uniformity, many different things, diverse set of options. That's variety. What comes to mind when I think of variety, bro? I'll be honest, as I said that, the first thing that came to mind was the variety of options when you walk into an American supermarket. And I don't mean options in terms of all products. I mean options in terms of a very specific kind of food that we refer to as junk food. You might have heard this before. Junk food, J-U-N-K, junk food, is essentially what it's. I mean, you may not know what that word means. Junk is another word for trash, something that you don't want or need anymore. That's essentially, but of course now I gotta hit the dictionary. Junk. Old or discarded articles that are considered useless or of little value. Now there are other meanings, but I want to stay on topic. So that's the most common way that we use the word junk. One of the most common ways. So now that you have some context, you have an idea of what that word means. Junk food is essentially trash food. And I don't mean food in the trash can, food that has been discarded. What we mean is food that is just not good for you. It's like eating trash. So you can think of Twinkies or Ho-Hos or donuts and potato chips, candy and chocolate. What else? What other type of junk food? Stuff like that. All of that is considered junk food. Just snacks and shit. Stuff that has absolutely no nutritional value for the human being or really any form of life on this planet. It was artificially sweetened. It's got processed sugar and fake colors and shit. And you shove that shit in your mouth because it tastes like a rainbow. It tastes like flowers and happiness and a dance party on the 13th floor, on the 30th floor at Trump Tower or some shit. You understand what I'm saying? It tastes like magic by design. Some scientists studied your taste buds and figured out what would be the most orgasmic, pleasurable experience for your mouth specifically. So intense that you would instantly get addicted and feel the need to run right back to the supermarket and buy another pack. There's a variety of junk food options on sale at a supermarket near you. That's the first thing that came to mind when I heard the word variety. There's all the fucking junk food options, man. All the trash food on sale at your typical American supermarket, bro. It's insane. It's insane. There's more junk food than actual food at the fucking grocery store. And we eat that shit up. We just can't help ourselves, man. We can't help it. You know? Also a variety of sodas, which is right in line. It's not food, but junk drinks. You know what I mean? We don't actually say that, just so you know. Nobody says, be careful with those junk drinks. You don't want to get fat. Nobody says that. I just made that up. I own that term now. Yeah, in 2024, Tony Kaizen coined the term junk drink. You can use it if you want. I don't mind. If you use it in an advertisement or a song or movie or a work of art, I need my credits though, fam. I need 2% royalties for life, in perpetuity. You understand? Whenever you hear somebody say that in perpetuity, it means forever. So yeah, I need my cut off the top, fam, if you're going to use that term junk drink. It's got a nice ring to it. Anyway, there's a variety of junk drinks for sale in every country. And they're all owned by a very small number of companies. When you think about Coca-Cola and Sprite and Fanta, even fucking water, Dasani, all of these are owned by the same company. How many effing flavors of soda are available, from orange to grape to strawberry to peach to piña colada to fucking tangerine? What am I missing? Pineapple, Dr. Pepper and root beer, and as I said, Sprite and Coca-Cola. You got Pepsi, you got RC Cola. There's so many options, and it's all just carbonated sugar water with high fructose corn syrup. And I personally cannot stop drinking it. I'm like, of all the addictions, soda has to be number one on the list since childhood, bro. Fucking A. So ridiculous. Is that not ridiculous, bro? I mean, I'm all in favor of capitalism and the freedom to start your own business and sell something that people are willing to pay for. I got zero problems with that. But goddamn, man. Goddamn. I can't even say anything because I was about to say, can't we have like the FDA regulate this type of shit? But no, because adults should be free to choose to consume whatever they want. If you want to eat fucking dandelions or trash out the garbage can, you should have the right to do that, man. If you want to shove processed sugar down your throat every day until you die of diabetes or something, heart failure, a heart attack, you should have the right to do that. Should you not? I think you should have the right to do that. So I don't think that it should be regulated, but goddamn, bro, what is it about the human being and our what's the word? Is it propensity? I'm not sure if I'm using that word correctly. Hang on. Propensity. Inclination or natural tendency to behave in a particular way. Propensity. Exactly. So our propensity to engage in what we know as, or what we know of as, cognitive dissonance. Now, without the dictionary definition, when I hear this term, what I think of is knowing something is wrong or knowing it's bad for you and doing it anyway. It's like, I know I should stop this. I know it's horrible, but I'm going to do it anyway. If I'm not mistaken, that's cognitive dissonance. You know, one negative effect of podcasting, I guess this is negative and positive, depending on how you look at it, is now that I've heard myself talk so much shit for so long, I am like hyper aware of every word that I choose. And I want to make sure I'm using them correctly because my goal is to teach you how to use these words. You know what I mean? So give me a second. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the discomfort a person feels when their behavior does not align with their values or beliefs. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological phenomenon that occurs when a person holds two contradictory beliefs at the same time. Is that what I said initially? That's why I don't Google shit anymore. Give me an example of cognitive dissonance. Let's ask ChatGPT Tizzy. Cognitive dissonance occurs when a person holds two or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values simultaneously or at the same time, leading to psychological discomfort. Here's an example. Imagine someone who values health and fitness but also smokes cigarettes, like Tony Kaizen. The conflicting ideas, smoking is bad for my health, versus I enjoy smoking and find it relaxing, create cognitive dissonance. To reduce this discomfort, the person might change their behavior, or quit smoking, change their beliefs, or downplay the health risks of smoking, or add new beliefs, The belief that smoking helps manage stress, which is also bad for health. That's a bit of mental gymnastics, isn't it? All right, well, now you got an idea of what cognitive dissonance is. So back to what I was saying, our propensity to be cognitively dissonant. Saying that I don't want to die of diabetes or a heart attack. I don't want to gain 50 kilos. I don't want to not be able to fit into the same pants I've been wearing for the last 10 years, but I am not going to put down that donut. I am not going to stop eating pizza or fried chicken or drinking Coca-Cola or smoking cigarettes or drinking beer. I'm not going to do it. I value my health in theory, but goddamn, I value this beer too, bro. I value this sugar and this salt and this fat. And there's a variety of options. Back to the second word of today's episode. There's a variety of options, a variety of ways to slowly walk yourself to the grave. You know what I mean? First to the hospital and then to the grave. And if you're in America, first to the hospital, then to the bank, then to the grave. And when you die, your family gets the bill. God bless America. Yeah. What else comes to mind when I hear variety? I also think, although generally speaking, I think human beings are more alike than we are different, I still think there's a variety of human beings out there. And the internet has allowed us to see that. People who are into all kinds of shit, from breeding animals. Don't even get me started. If you're an OG listener of the podcast, you've heard me talk about this before. Pet ownership, animal breeding, and stuff. Man, it's so fucking weird. But animal breeders and astrophysicists and people that are into BDSM, people that are into NASCAR and F1 racing, people that are into cosmetics, people that are satanic, people that are uber religious, there's so many kinds of people out there, man. So many different beliefs and ideas and ways of living. You know what I mean? Drug addicts and politicians and business owners and single parents and I don't know, man, fucking gypsies and coal miners and people that spend the majority of the year on a submarine submerged below the surface of the ocean. There are people out there right now in a fucking submarine somewhere at the depths of the ocean, possibly listening to this podcast. Do they get internet reception down there? I mean, you can download the episode and then listen to it, right? If you're on a submarine right now, please send me an email. Just let me know you were listening to this on a submarine. I want to see how far this podcast reaches. Anyway, let's move on before this shit falls off the rails. This has nothing to do with variety, does it? All right, word number 3. Berry, bro? Fuck no. Solution. Much better. SOLUTION. 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 It sounds like solution. 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 I'm sure there's many ways to say that, but anyway, solution. Let's go ahead and get a dictionary definition of the word solution. You know, they say for every problem, there's a solution. Solution, a means of solving a problem or dealing with a difficult situation. Example sentence, there are no easy solutions to financial and marital problems. This is true. Well, I don't know if that's true. I think it depends on the situation, doesn't it? If you got financial problems, it could be as simple as keeping your money in your pocket as opposed to buying t-shirts and concert tickets and $6 coffees and fucking Fortnite skins. I don't know what y'all spend your money on. You know what I'm saying? Marital problems. Boy, I saw a fucking video clip of Theo Von's podcast. If y'all don't know who that is, you should. He's an American comedian from somewhere in Louisiana, a hilarious individual. And somebody called in to his podcast and said something like, I've been married to my wife for a while now, and we tried to have a threesome with another woman. If you don't know, a threesome is when 3 people have sex together as opposed to just 2 people. So it was him, his wife, and another lady. And his wife realized that she actually likes women. She's sexually attracted to women. And so then they tried to do it with a man. It was him, his wife, and another man. And he discovered that he's sexually attracted to men. And so he's calling Theo Von for whatever reason, I don't know. And he's saying, like, what should we do about this? Should we get divorced or like what? And in my mind, the solution seems pretty clear. If they don't have children, why would you stay married if neither one of y'all are actually, you know what I mean, attracted to each other? So I think sometimes there are easy solutions to financial and marital problems. It depends on the situation. But what do you guys think? Is there a solution for every problem? Is there? I don't know. You know, they say when there's a will, there's a way. Maybe you've heard that idiom before. When there's a will, there's a way. It means when you have the will or the desire to do something, if it's strong enough, then there's always a way to get it done. Where there's a will, there's a way. I don't know if it's when or where. Let me double check. Either one is acceptable in case you're wondering, but we're going to get to the bottom of this. Is it when there's a will, there's a way, or where there's a will, there's a way? The correct phrase is where there's a will, there's a way. It means that if someone is determined to do something, they will find a method to accomplish it, even if it seems difficult or impossible at first. Where there's a will, there's a way. I have to imagine that exists in other languages. Does that exist in your language? Where there's a will, there's a way. And do you believe that? Where there's a will, there's a way. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know. I guess in practical situations, sure, but not every situation. You know what I mean? I mean, if you were born in the fucking dirt in the middle of the Congo and you grew up literally on your mother's back as she was mining for cobalt with her bare hands, and both of you are inhaling all that mineral dust, and she's making fucking 6 cents a day for 12 hours of labor, and your dream is to be a millionaire and fly to the moon, a billionaire and fly to the moon, or fucking solve world hunger, is there really a way? I don't mean to get dark or cynical. I mean, there is somebody, as I say these words to you, there's a baby on a woman's back in the middle of the Congo, and that woman is mining for cobalt with her bare hands so that you and I can have a longer battery life on our fucking cell phones. That's happening right now. And that woman's dream is to be, I don't know, the president. Is there really a way? I don't know, bro. Again, I don't want this podcast to fall off the rails and get all dark. I'm just asking a question. Is there really a way wherever there's a will? Is there? I don't know if that's always the case. I find that a lot of motivational speech or advice that gets thrown around, especially on the internet by rich and famous people, they're talking to a very specific group of people that what they're saying doesn't apply to everyone, which is, you might think is obvious, but it's very easy to think just because this person appears to be rich and successful and they're saying it, it has to be true. You know what I mean? Even me, when I get on my fucking soapbox and start spitting that motivational shit, I'm sure some of you, depending on your circumstances, are like, man, this this dude sounds dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? Because I'll say, oh, you can do this and you can do that and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know your fucking life. I don't know your situation. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's a solution to all of your problems. I'm just talking into a microphone in a room by myself. I don't know you, bro. I think it's really important to remember that. But anyway, back to solutions, you know? What else? I mean, that's a noun. The verb directly related to that noun is to solve. You can solve a problem, or you can find a solution to a problem. You can create a solution to a problem. Sometimes, or at least some people believe, sometimes there is no solution to a particular problem. Do you guys, speaking of solving problems, speaking of solutions, do you guys think this is a skill that either has been lost or was never taught? I mean, I don't know how to even ask this question, but I think that problem solving skills are very important. And I just wonder, are young people today being taught problem solving skills? Because I've even done episodes about Gen Z and how a lot of people think they're lazy and weak and a bunch of fucking snowflakes and all this negative stuff. And I've also said, probably in that same episode, that's not necessarily Gen Z's fault. And so sticking with that line, or sticking with that topic, I should say, are parents teaching their children how to solve problems anymore? Because when I think about North American families, this is a gross generalization, but when I think about North American families, many Western European families, and the way that they tend to raise their children, again, grossly generalizing, I think that they're spoiling these kids just a tad bit too much, doing a bit too much for their children. I don't remember what episode number it was, but I did an episode titled Over-Functioning Parents, and it was about that exactly. Parents essentially robbing their kids of their independence and their ability to, well, their independence. I was about to repeat myself. Parents robbing their kids of their independence by solving problems for them, doing everything for them, trying to keep them sheltered and protected because in their minds, they love their kids so much and they don't want to see them suffer. And personally, I just don't think that's a good idea. I think that all of us need to struggle. Jordan Peterson talks about this quite often. He says that we are built for struggle. Human beings thrive when we struggle. We're built for that. All of our ancestors struggled for thousands of years, or however long we've been on this planet. We don't really know. But we struggled. Life is a fucking struggle for most of us, right? And so I think through that struggle, we obviously become stronger people. And through those struggles, we learn not only about ourselves, but how to behave and carry ourselves in life, how to get things done, how to solve problems, how to cooperate with other people, how to be resourceful. It comes from struggle. They say that necessity is the mother of invention. Have you heard this before? Necessity is the mother of invention. Meaning that everything that we know was invented because somebody needed it and didn't have it. So they just created the shit. But you could take that back to what I'm talking about. You could say that struggle is the mother of strength. You like that? Right off the top of the dome. But real shit though, real shit. Struggle is the mother of strength. I mean, the most basic example that I love to use, whether it's struggling in life or struggling with English, is going to the gym. You're not going to burn fat and gain muscle without struggling for that shit, bro. Trying to lift 30 kilos, 40 kilos, 50 kilos, realizing you can't fucking do it. So you gotta start a bit smaller. Just above the amount that you feel comfortable lifting. And then you lift that long enough and it gets easy. Then you gotta up the level of intensity and struggle some more. and lift that for a while until it gets easy. It's like that with weightlifting. It's like that with language learning. It's like that with life. And if you spent your entire childhood, your entire adolescence without struggling, life is just gonna be a shit sandwich for you, bruh. Because sooner or later, you gotta grow up and put on your big boy pants and fucking take care of yourself, man. And if you were never encouraged or forced or required to do that, I think, man, you need to have a conversation with your parents and be like, what the fuck were y'all thinking, bruh? So I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this topic. Like, are these kids actually being taught problem solving skills? I don't think they are. Again, there's tons of families out there who are still raising their kids in a more traditional way, teaching their kids what they need to know to be self-sustaining, independent, productive members of society, able to rely on themselves. There's plenty of people out there teaching their kids to do those things or develop those skills. But I worry an overwhelming number are not. You know? It's a really important skill to have, bro. For any leader, especially. But even if you don't have children or a partner, or you're not a manager at a business or some company, you are the leader of your life. You're making the decisions for you. You are the manager of the business that is your life. And it is a business, make no mistake. So if you don't have problem solving skills, bro, shit, man, what you gonna do, bro? What you gonna do? Pay somebody else to solve your problems? I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. A lot of people do that. We all do that. Now that I think about it, we all do that. You go to a restaurant, you're hungry, you don't feel like cooking. You pay them to solve that problem. You need a haircut, but you don't know how to do it without fucking it up. You pay the barber or the stylist to solve that problem. That's what business is, getting paid to solve problems. That's what a business is, at least in theory. So, yeah, we definitely pay people to solve our problems, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. You can't pay people to solve all problems unless you got enough money to do so. And if you don't have problem-solving skills, how the fuck are you going to make enough money to pay other people to solve your problems? Come on, bro. Let me get off this topic. I'm just fucking rambling here. Let's move on to word number 3, maybe 4. I lost count. Weave. Interesting word. And I'll tell you why. W-E-A-V-E. Weave. Weave. This word is interesting because it has multiple meanings. And it is both a noun and a verb. Now let me get you the definition of the verb. Hang on. To weave. Form fabric by interlacing long threads passing in one direction with others at a right angle to them. What is that, bro? I'll say that again. Form fabric by interlacing long threads passing in one direction with others at a right angle to them. Do you understand that? I didn't even understand that. I only understood a little bit because I know what the word means. But let me just try to illustrate it for you. To weave, what you can think of is if maybe your grandma does this or somebody you know does this. If you need to make a scarf or a blanket or some type of textile and you're going to do it by hand, then you need to weave that scarf or weave that blanket or that textile or that tapestry. These are things that are woven. It's the past participle. Weave, woven. So things that are woven. Again, scarves, tapestries and comforters, quilts as well. These are things that are woven. But you can also weave figuratively. For example, you can weave a story together. You take all these different situations and concepts or separate situations. You take all these separate situations, all these seemingly unrelated aspects of the story, and you weave them together so it's one cohesive story. You know what I mean? You got character A, character B, character C, and character D all living separate lives, and somehow this genius of a story writer will take all four characters and weave their life stories together and turn it into a movie. So you're watching one story that's 2 hours long, but you're following four separate characters or four different mini narratives that are somehow woven together and make sense in the form of one movie or one book. Am I making sense to you? Like, think of Breaking Bad. It's one story, but there are multiple mini stories that are woven together very, very intelligently in a way that's still easy to follow. You've got Walter White and Saul Goodman and what was his name? Gus and Mike and Hank. All these, I mean, they're all characters in one story, but they're all living their own stories. And because it's a 5-season series, we get to see parts of all of their individual stories. And all of those individual stories then get woven together coherently for us to enjoy a world-class TV series. Am I making sense to you? So you can weave textiles. You can also weave a story together. What else can you... Oh, that's the other thing why I said this word was interesting. One thing that is very well known in the Black American community, I would have to say Black community in general, is the noun weave, which is essentially a hairpiece. So what these women will do sometimes is take artificial hair and literally weave it into their natural hair in order to change the appearance and the length of their hair. It's literally woven into the hair that's already on their head. It's not a wig that can be put on and taken off at will. It's literally, like I've said this 3 times, woven into their head so that even if you pull on it, it won't necessarily come off their head. You also, I mean, sometimes they use glue and shit like that, but typically a weave, again, in this case it's a noun, a weave, by definition, is woven into the woman's hair. Why they do that shit, I don't know, bro. I mean, I do know, obviously. But anyway, yeah, that's something that's quite common in the Black community because a lot of Black women have been convinced that their hair is not beautiful. It's not good enough. It needs to look European. So they need to weave in some straight hair that was cut off of a horse or some other woman's head, and they need to weave that shit into their hair in order to be considered beautiful, which is just fucking crazy. But it's very common. Very, very common. Not just amongst Black women, obviously. I'm sure other women, especially these days, are wearing weaves. So you can say I mean, you probably shouldn't say this, but just an example sentence, that's a nice weave. Again, it's a noun. Or she's wearing a weave. She's got a weave. That's a beautiful weave. And you're talking about her hairpiece. The weave was woven into her hair. So, yeah, if you want to know what I'm talking about, maybe with my words it wasn't very clear, just go to Google and search Black woman weave, W-E-A-V-E, V like Victor, or Vicious, or Vons, or Victorious, or Virality, or Venus, or Verdict, I don't know. Black woman weave, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, hopefully now you have a very good idea of what the word weave means. I suppose you could use that word in the context of your body as well. Like yes, you can. You can weave in and out of a crowd. So the same way you would take a needle and thread and go in and out or back and forth through this piece of fabric, you can do the same thing or something similar to it with your body when you're passing through a crowd of people. You're going left and right through this crowd. You're sort of weaving through the crowd. Or a basketball player might be weaving through the defense, going left and right and juking and doing crossovers and shit, left and right, all the way to the basket, weaving through this group of defenders. Maybe in soccer, I mean, you won't necessarily hear this all the time, but it does make perfect sense, at least to me. I've definitely heard it in the context of basketball, not necessarily football. So that's another way to use the verb to weave. What else comes to mind for weave? I guess that's it. We talked about the noun, various uses of the verb, right? So let's move on to let me check the time. How we doing? Oh, 51 minutes, mate. This has to be word number 5, unless I've just been talking a ridiculous amount of time, taking a ridiculously long time to get to the next word. I'm going to assume this is word number 5, and I typically do 5 per episode. So this is perfect. This is number 5. Shark. Word number 5. Shark. 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 One very fascinating animal. I just saw recently a video saying that sharks literally do not sleep because if they stop moving, then they're unable to breathe. They have to move in order for the water to run through their gills, thus giving them the ability to breathe. So if they stop moving, they stop breathing. Talk about this. I mean, is that not like, what would you call that? ADD or ADHD in the animal community? You literally that's not ADHD, but you literally can't stop moving. Is that ADHD? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Not even going to go down that path. You get what I'm trying to say. Some type of hyperactivity disorder. I mean, you imagine being born a species that has no choice but to move from the time you were born to the time you die. Could you imagine having to literally move all the time? Never being able to sit down, never being able to stand still, nothing, bro. You have to move all the time, which means you have to eat all the fucking time. I mean, imagine how much energy a shark is burning around the clock, bro. 24 hours a day, moving, whether it's broad daylight or pitch black. You know what I mean? Always moving. What the hell, man? Like, what was going on there? I mean, if we accept evolution as factual, if we're going to assume that evolution is a real thing, what the hell was Mother Nature thinking when she created an animal that is condemned to perpetual movement? You stop moving, you die. The fuck, bro? Oh, man, let me ask you this. Would you rather be a species that dies if it moves or a species that dies if it stops moving? Which would you prefer? Assuming that everything else would be okay. Obviously, if you can't move, then you can't eat, you can't have sex, you can't run, you can't do anything. Let's just assume that your environment or the way your body functions enables you to sit in one place. And if you move, you die. Or, much like our friend the shark, well, it's not anyone's friend, but much like our distant cousin, the shark, or you can't stop moving. Because if you do, you're going to fucking suffocate. Which one would you prefer? Sharks are some gangsta ass creatures, bro. Is it true that sharks have 32 rows of teeth or some crazy shit? Hold on. You hear so many things as a kid watching the Discovery Channel or in biology class, and now as an adult, I'm like, bro, is that for real? How many rows of teeth do sharks have? Sharks typically have multiple rows of teeth, which vary in number depending on the species. Most sharks have 5 to 15 rows of teeth in each jaw. For example, what the fuck, bro? Let me say that again. Most sharks have 5 to 15 rows of teeth in each jaw, which I have to assume means upper jaw and lower jaw. And if that's the case, it's almost 32 rows of fucking teeth. For example, great white sharks usually have about 5 rows of teeth. Bull sharks have around 7 rows. Tiger sharks can have 24 rows of teeth. Sharks continually lose and replace their teeth throughout their lives, with new teeth moving forward from the back rows to replace any that fall out. So it's a bunch of spare teeth. It's like driving around in a car with 76 spare tires. In case you get a flat, don't worry, you got 32 more in the fucking trunk. Just in case. Jesus, bro. Have you ever looked closely at a shark's teeth, bro? You imagine. There's just no escape. There's no escape. If that fucking shark clamps its jaw down on your leg, there's nothing, absolutely nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do, bro. You're not going anywhere. Fucking A, bro. Talk about apex predator. You know what I'm saying? What fucking majestic yet frightening creatures, man. What predators do sharks have? I know that killer whales can eat sharks. Or is that fucking... Do killer whales eat sharks or dolphins? I can't remember. What predators do sharks have? And just in case you don't know, predator is the animal that eats another, that hunts, attacks, kills, and then eats the animal, known as prey. The predator is the one pursuing. The prey is the one that is running away. Here we go. While sharks are often considered apex predators, they do have some natural predators. These can vary depending on the shark species and their habitat. Common predators of sharks include larger sharks. Some larger shark species, like the great white shark, prey on smaller sharks. You imagine larger humans eating smaller humans? Jesus Christ. Orcas, also known as killer whales, are known to hunt and eat sharks, including great white sharks. Humans are significant predators of sharks through activities such as fishing, bycatch, and finning. Jesus, how sad, bro. Saltwater crocodiles. Wow. Saltwater crocodiles in certain regions like northern Australia can prey on smaller sharks. These predators contribute to the natural checks and balances within marine ecosystems. Well, there you go, folks. I want to go back to the larger sharks, bro. Can you imagine larger humans eating smaller humans? Fucking A. Well, I guess that actually... cannibals are a real thing, right? There are humans that eat other humans. I just don't understand why. Like, have you had fried chicken before, bro? Have you had a nice juicy steak? Have you had a cheeseburger? Why would you want to eat another human being? Bro, we have double cheeseburgers with grilled onions and French fries. Why do you want to eat a human being, bro? Come on, man. Let me ask you this. How long? Let's imagine it's about to get dark, all right? for most of you anyway. It's about to get dark. How long? Let's imagine you and your best friend step into an elevator. There's 30 floors in the building. Not that that's relevant, but just trying to set the scene here. You and your friends start on the ground floor and you're going up to floor number 28. And as you begin to ascend or go up towards floor number 28, everything's good. You guys are talking about how hungry you are, how you skipped breakfast because you guys were too busy. You had things to do all morning. And as soon as you guys drop off this document on floor number 28, you guys are going to go straight to the local burger spot, get a double cheeseburger, extra fries, and a large Coke, and just devour that shit. Your mouths are watering just thinking about it. And as you get to floor 17, the elevator stops. Not because somebody told it to. It just gets stuck. In the middle, between floor 17 and 18, it gets stuck. And what do you do when the elevator gets stuck? You press the alarm button, you press the help button, with the little phone icon, hoping that somebody is there to answer you so you can let them know, hey, the elevator's stuck. Please send help. Please get us out of this coffin-like box 17 floors above the Earth's surface. But when you press that button, nobody responds. Not only that, but there's another elevator in the building. And as everybody's going home for the day, they're trying to use the elevator that you're stuck in. And they realize something's wrong with it, so they all use elevator number 2. They leave the building, they go home to their families, enjoy a nice hot meal, maybe some Netflix, glass of wine, and they go to sleep. You and your friend get left in the building. In an elevator, you got no cell reception because you're in an elevator, so you can't call anybody. Security's not working that day, or they're fucking asleep or whatever. They turn off the lights and they just go home. How long would you have to be stuck in that elevator before you consider eating your friend? How long, bro? I mean, I know that what I'm saying is unrealistic, but I'm just trying to put you in a scenario. Maybe not the best example. I'm trying to put you in a situation where sooner or later you're going to eat another person or starve to death. Those are your only two choices. How long? How much time would have to pass before you consider it? Just before you consider it. I'm not saying you're going to do it. I'm just saying before you look at your friend like, shit, I'm really hungry, man, and I don't want to die here. Excuse me. I don't want to die here. So it's going to be you or it's going to be me. And it's not going to be me. How long, bro? I don't have an answer to that question. When I put myself in that scenario, I don't know, bro. I've never been anything close to hungry enough to consider eating a human, so I don't know. I really don't know. But fucking A, I have to wonder, under what conditions would one have to find himself to not only consider eating a human, but to kill and actually eat another human? What the fuck, man? And what's interesting is that amongst other species, it's not that abnormal, like we just heard with the shark. There are fish that eat other fish. Insects that eat other insects. So it's not like only humans have done that. I'm just saying, but I guess what I'm asking or wondering is, why is that strange to us? Why is it that certain species will eat other members of its own species, but we don't do that? I dated a girl once who had probably 4 or 5 cats at the crib, and one of the cats had babies. And it just so happened that one of the babies didn't make it. The baby died shortly after it was born. And what she told me was that her and her family went to the grocery store, or they went somewhere, came back to the house. She walked in and saw the mother, the cat, the mother eating its dead baby, bro. The babies that this cat carried around for who knows how many months, then gave birth to, the cat realized that the baby was dead and said, well, it's fucking dead. I might as well eat it. Fucking hey, man. Fucking hey. Cats are some fucking alien psychopaths, man. I swear to God. They are not of this planet. Are there other species that do that? The baby dies shortly after birth, so they just fucking eat it? What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? How the fuck did we get here when we started with the word shark? How did we get here, Mr. Kaizen? Jesus Christ. That's gotta be our time for today, my friends. I apologize that we didn't really talk much about sharks, because they are fascinating, terrifying animals. Some people feel way too this. You know what? Before I end this, I'll say one last thing. I am not one of those people that is willing to just swim in the open ocean. I think swimming in the ocean is a lot of fun, but as I don't know what it was that I saw or experienced, but somewhere along the line, as I got older, I guess I just realized how easy it is for any creature that was born in the ocean to swim right up to me and do whatever they want to me. And there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it. From a shark to a jellyfish to a goddamn turtle, bro. It don't even matter. A barracuda or a swordfish or whatever the fuck. They can do whatever they want. There's nothing I can do to stop that. And I won't even see them coming, bro. The water in San Diego is not clear. The water in LA is not clear, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even if I go to someplace where the water is clear, Itaparica, Brazil, or fucking Fiji, or you know what I mean? Some goddamn island paradise where you can walk, you can stand in the water all the way up to your chest and still see your feet when you look down. Even in a situation like that, you see the animal coming, some bull shark or some tiger shark. You're not running away, bro. You're not running away. You know what I mean? Even if you try to do so. Even if you try to do so, it is curtains for you, bro. The show is over. Thanks for coming. Get home safely. It's fucking curtains, bro. So why would I volunteer to step into a shark's habitat? A goddamn barracuda or a piranha's habitat. Or if piranhas don't live in the ocean, do they? You know what I'm saying. I don't know where piranhas live. Are they freshwater fish or saltwater fish? I don't know. You get my point. Now, it's not that I fear the ocean per se. It's not that I won't get in the water. I'm just saying, when I'm in the ocean, I'm constantly, it's in the back of my mind, like, what if? What if just 10 to 15 meters away, there's a shark looking at me the same way we look at chicken wings? That's on my mind when I'm in the ocean, bro. So these days I prefer to look at the water as opposed to swimming in it, you know what I mean? Or what I do now or I can't say what I do. I can't remember the last time I was in the ocean. But what I would do at this point is just a bit of research. Do sharks tend to be in this area of the ocean? Is this a shark's typical habitat? Are these shark infested waters? How many shark attacks have been reported in this area in the last 5 years? You know what I mean? Because fucking A, there's a lot of ways to die, and shark attack is not how I would prefer to die. Should I do an episode about that? I've been thinking about that topic for a while, all the different ways that human beings can and have died. And the preferred ways to die. I mean, is that something that you guys have thought about, how you would like to die? I know that's dark for some of y'all, but if we're talking about a spectrum from light to dark, I'm very far to the left on the dark side. So that for me is not a very dark topic, but for some people, just talking about the idea of death is quite dark and difficult to think about. So I apologize if you're one of those people. But for everybody else listening, is that something you've thought about, how you would like to die? Because we all know it's going to happen, and we try to push it out of our minds and focus on the present and live, as opposed to obsessing over the fact that one day we will cease to live. But I'm asking, is that something you've thought about? How you would like to die? If you could choose, what would you choose? Because there are so many ways to go. And obviously the classic answer is peacefully in my sleep. I just doubt that most of us are going to go that way. So let's imagine that option is off the table. How would you like to die? That's a very dark way to end this episode, man. I'm a fucking... That was a bit too dark for a podcast like this one. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and end it right here before it falls all the way off the rails, my friend. That is Random English Words, number 3 in the books. That is Real English Radio episode, I don't even know at this point. But that's another one in the books, my friend. Much love to you. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope you enjoyed the episode. My name is Tony Kaizen, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.